Let's draft. Let's draft on Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty, drafting in 9 minutes and 18 seconds from right now. And until then, we will be discussing ADP values in round number 4, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about who are your steals in round number 4. We talked about round 3 the other night. Was it the other night or was it last night? I forget if it was last night or not. But round number 4, probably one of, if not the most important round, in my opinion, given a couple of the guys that are falling, at least one of the most important rounds, because Jalen Hurts is a league winner. We talked about this in round 3, that he's not a bad late round 3 grab. We talked about over and over how Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes both can win you leagues, and they have no business being in round 4. So much so that I'm coming out with content over and over, beating a dead horse on how these guys are being slept on. Oh, Smitty, you can't use the word sleeper when referring to big name players like Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. You bet your bottom dollar I can, because people are sleeping at the wheel. Why on earth is Jalen Hurts scoring 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, sometimes as late as 4.4 or 4.5? Why is Patrick Mahomes floating between 45 overall and 49 overall? I'll tell you why. Because content creation, regurgitation is happening in the industry, but I'm here as your solution. I'm here as your remedy. I'm here to help you separate the noise from all of the ideas that I think get you in a trap. This is a trap. There's no early quarterback in round 4. What kind of round 4 early quarterback are people talking about? That's not early quarterback. That's middle round quarterback. There's no early round quarterback anymore. Josh Allen's kind of early round if you take him in 3, but we're now nowhere near early quarterback anymore. That's gone. Why is it gone? Quite arguably, quarterbacks deserve to go in round 2. I'm just going to tell you that, but they don't need to go in round 2. We're certainly not going to break the trend and buck the ADP trend. We're here with a gift in front of our face right here. Patrick Mahomes, mid to late 4th round. Jalen Hurts, top of round 4, the Fantasy Football Show, ADP ranking show, and live draft show, drafting live in 6 minutes and 44 seconds on Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Hit this link right now and get prepared and signed up. You've got like 5 minutes to get signed up. It takes like 1 or 2 minutes. Link has been dropped. The link's in the description of the video if you're watching the replay. But the link has been dropped in the live chat. Underdog will match 50% your first deposit up to $250. So you deposit $500, they'll give you $250. You deposit $100, they'll give you $50. You deposit $10, the minimum, they'll give you $5. And you'll have $15 to play with. Go right now to that link that I've dropped. Do it, and do it live, because we have 6 minutes until we draft. I'll tell you what draft to get in. We have 6 minutes after the intro. We'll have about 5 minutes to talk about this 4th round. This 4th round ADP on screen. The Fantasy Football Show Graveyard Edition begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live when news breaks, live at midnight most nights to do graveyard drafting. We'll do some mock drafting this year. Don't you worry. I know people are constantly like, Smitty, I want a mock draft. We used to mock draft. Why don't we mock draft? We'll mock draft, and we'll mock draft at the same time that we do these best ball drafts. That's going to happen more often this year than we did last year. So we'll do a whole lot of mock drafting and live drafting at the same time. But to be honest with you, when people say, Smitty, why don't we mock draft anymore as much as we used to, at least? The answer is pretty simple. The mock draft communities, the mock draft products out there, no offense to the mock draft products that are out there, they're kind of getting stale and they're kind of unused. They're almost like ghost towns, to the point that people just would rather, instead of mocky poo, let's have a little mock poo. Let's just get out here and do a little oopsie mock draft. Why not just throw $2 or $3 or $5 on a real draft and use your skill set that you have And you know what's funny is, over the years, I've been kind of coined he's talking about this too early guy. I've been coined hey Smitty, you're putting the cart before the horse guy. Or hey Smitty, this guy hasn't touched the field yet. This guy hasn't even practiced yet. Hey Smitty, you're talking up Bijan. He hasn't even been drafted to a team yet. And all while I'm saying I don't care, because guess what? In this world, you have advantages of jumping into something. Let's say starting a dynasty startup in February or March. You have some advantages of getting ahead of the curve before landing spots are handed out. Oh, what if people get injured? When people say, Smitty, I wouldn't draft my redraft league early. I would. I'd draft it as early as March. Why? Because I feel like I'm going to have way more advantages of jumping on top of the values before they climb up than any sort of mishap, because everybody's got a chance of somebody getting hurt in camp. I'm not worried about that. I love when people come into my comment section and say, see, so-and-so got hurt in the preseason, or so-and-so got hurt in August or July. That's why you don't draft early. That doesn't make me feel any sort of way of negative toward drafting early, talking about content early. I love coming out in February, March, April, May, January even, talking the next season. Ranking rookies, talking rookies, constantly projecting, predicting. We'll adjust and adapt as things happen. But it makes me laugh when people are like, you can't draft early. You draft early as you can, to be honest with you. If you're dealing with a bunch of novices that aren't embedded in daily content like you, like me, like all of us, the community here, you're gonna watch them absolutely look lost in an early draft. So this whole notion of early drafting is bad. I love it. Absolutely love it. That's why Mahomes and Hurts and these values we've seen slowly climb and move around. It's all advantageous to us that are astute and embedded and deep in the process, right? We got a super chat from Young who says, Smitty, I think Senate needs a shuttle. Don't worry. That's coming. I already warned you about that, Young. It's coming. It's coming. It's going to be tomorrow before the video drops. Anybody that's in my Smitty exclusive chat already knows Senate, about the Senate situation, because anybody that wants to get early drops. Also, my YouTube exclusive members will also get that, so I'll be dropping that stuff to you guys as well. So if anybody's a YouTube exclusive member, anybody's not a YouTube exclusive member, you will be getting the higher value tier. I think it's $9.99 a month or $10.99 a month. Those individuals will get early drops, and you'll hear about bold predictions coming before other people or certain things like that. So get ready for that as the rest of the season goes along. My Instagram people and my second tier of the YouTube exclusive membership, you'll be getting early drops on the regular going forward. So get ready for that. And you know, all of you here deserve a little bit of a early Christmas present nugget. Yes, Senate will potentially be dropping on a list. It was supposed to happen today, which is, I think, what Young's referencing. But it's delayed a couple hours. So hang tight on the Senate drop that is coming. Senate is a rookie tight end for the Washington Commanders, and he's going to be absolutely glorious. He very well could be the Sam Laporta of this draft class. He very well could be the guy that is kind of second ranked to everybody, but could end up being the Laporta versus the Kincaid. And they're both great. They're both glorious. Kincaid's a top 4 tight end in Dynasty. Laporta's number 1. And so, you know, Senate and Bowers could be the same thing. They could both be top 5 or 6. One of them could be better than the other. And the one that's better could be Senate. I was going off on a tangent for some reason. We're drafting in 18 seconds here. Looking quickly at this ADP data for round 4, I'm going to say that Jalen Hurts, and let me just put a 4 right smack in the middle of this so everybody knows that we're talking about round 4 here. This is round 4, and then we'll draft here in a second. Round 4. This is an important round, as I said. There's a lot of players that are dropping that shouldn't be dropping. Jalen Hurts, you know, taking him at the top of round 4 wins you a league. I don't care how many value players. I don't care how much I love Joe Burrow. You know I love Joe Burrow. I don't care how much I love JD5. And I love JD5. Hurts at the top of 4 is the biggest steal in fantasy. It's a sleeper pick. How is he a sleeper? He's a big name. I don't care. He's a big name 4th round sleeper. Let me correct you right now if you think that I can't or anybody can't define sleeper however the hell they want. Descriptor, 4th round sleeper, 5th round sleeper. Who's being slept on in the top 15? Who's being slept on in the top 10 overall? You can define sleeper however you want. And if you can't stand or handle the word sleeper in that context with that variety of usage, this is not the channel for you. I can promise you that, because this channel thinks outside the box. This channel doesn't cookie cut anything. Yeah, sleeper means sleeper is whatever the hell I want it to be. And I'm telling you right now, Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes are being slept on more than any players in the fantasy football space. Nobody's sleeping on somebody more than Hurts and Mahomes. These guys win you a freaking league from round number 4. Win you a league in round number 4. Who else is winning you a league in round 4? Josh Jacobs. How did this guy find himself in round 4? He was a round 3 gem. We used Josh Jacobs as a potential late second, early third emergency running back if we're feeling dry zone territory in a league for some reason in the tail end of the third round, tail end of the second round, top of round 3, and now he's falling to round 4. Now he's your third round running back. Now instead of going dry zone, gotta grab somebody. Now if he's going around 4, that means you can easily get him anywhere in round 3. Sometimes if a guy's going late 3. You can't get him in 3 can't get him in 4 unless you have an early 4th rounder, because he's going traditionally late 3. So you got to get lucky for him to fall into round 4. If he's going at the top of 4, that means you can get him anywhere in round 3. So let's say you go wide receiver. Let's say you go Marvin Harrison Jr. and Garrett Wilson. And then at the end of the next round, now you have a potential opportunity to take Josh Jacobs and whoever you want. You could take Jacobs and Jalen Hurts with your next pick. You could have, this is a pretty good team when you think about it. This example had Jacobs in the 3rd round right there. Look, you don't even need to do that anymore. You don't need to do that at all. This is the world we live in now. Is a Josh Jacobs in round 4 world. Let's say you take Harrison Jr. You take Garrett Wilson, G. Will. You take Jacobs here, and you take Hurts here. Who isn't riding that team into the sunset? You know what I'm saying? Like, that team is straight fire. Not saying it's my absolute favorite build. I'm just telling you that is a fantastic way to build your football team. And I don't even mind drafting Jacobs in the middle of round 3 still, and taking my Mahomie a little early in round 4, and taking me a little McBride if he falls, if we're so lucky, McBride falls here to 5 sometimes. Unbelievable value. Round 4, round 5. And so this allows you to go, let's say, Jamar Chase or Bijan. So we got Jacobs, Mahomes, McBride. We got no wide receivers. So let's go Chase in this build up at the top. And let's go Achane with this build right here. Achane, Chase, Jacobs, Mahomes, McBride. Championship is what we say back home. And back home, I mean here at the Fantasy Football Show. News desk and information desk and sleeping giant finder news desk. Round 4, breakouts, sleepers, win a league players. So far, we've got Hurts, we've got Jacobs, we've got ETN's good values. A top 5 running back. He's going around 4. Why not? Kelsey, I love it. I don't like Zay Jones as my 4th drafted player. I loved him last year. He's a moon man, but I don't just stick with players like that no matter what and say, no matter what his ADP is, I'll just back him. No, I don't like Zay Flowers. I like Zay Flowers. I don't like Zay Flowers at top of round 4 or even middle round 4. T. Higgins, no thank you. Lamar, not one I can get Mahomes still. I don't hate it. I don't hate it next round, but I don't like it here. Tank Dell, loved that he fell to round 4. And he's kind of like, in the territory of, I think, near end of round 4 by the time the dust settles on everything. McBride, he can linger in 4 and 5. So that's why I said in this example, if he fell, you take him. Sometimes he falls, sometimes he doesn't. So McBride's not always there. Mahomes sometimes falls to round 5. Sometimes he has to be taken in round number 4. That's why I took him there, just to make sure. And then Pacheco's not bad. I don't think it's my favorite 4th round pick. Pickens isn't really my favorite 4th round pick. Stroud, I'd rather have him in 5. I don't think I'd take Stroud in 4. Kincaid, I love him in 5. Right here, he's falling to 5.1. So this is the end of round. Actually, Stroud is too. So it goes George Pickens, and then it's Stroud and Kincaid kind of dropping into round 5. So in a nutshell, Mahomes, McBride, Tank Dell, Kelsey, Hurts, Josh Jacobs, ETN, with my 2 favorites being Hurts and Mahomes, and they're league winners from that territory. Now, without further ado, we are going over to the draft board. Everybody open up your Underdog Fantasy app. I've told you we're doing this. You should be prepared already. The link just got dropped again, just in case. Vincent dropping a $5 hauler super chat on screen here. Young again dropped his. Young, appreciate your $2 hauler. Smitty, I think Ben Sinnott. So Sinnott is going to get his video. I already mentioned that. Just wait, hang tight, be patient. It's coming tomorrow. Why draft Hurts in the 4th when you can draft JD5 in the 9-10? Better to wait on a QB this year. Appreciate your work. Vincent, I think you already heard my explanation for this. As much as I love JD5, and I will be drafting tons of JD5, Hurts can be the number 1 overall player, not to mention you still draft JD5 in the 9th and 10th round. Vincent, you still do it. You still do it. Have the depth. I don't care if it's 1 QB. Have the depth at that cost of 9-10. Not to mention, I don't think he'll go 9 and 10, Vincent. I mean, that's not even, I don't think that's even going to be close to his ADP here shortly. Not to mention, it doesn't matter. The whole thing with early quarterback and people that argue against it is, first of all, you're hearing it everywhere. So you're being like trained to think this is the way you got to go because there's value. Just because there's value downstream does not mean the value of Hurts doesn't outshine the value of even Burrow, who we love in round 7, or JD5, who I love in 9-10, as you say, but he's not going to go in 9-10. Even if he was going 7, and JD5, I'll give you his ADP. JD5's ADP is now about 7th round. So his ADP 7th round, not 9-10, Vincent. That's drafting on ESPN. That's drafting on Ghost Town mock drafts. People want to put their money in a league where they can spend money and win. The early drafting rant that I was going on earlier. I think that was my tangent, that people want to draft. People don't want a mock draft. They just rather do a $2 and $3 draft. So mock drafting is kind of obsolete in some ways. And the data, the ADP data on draft apps is better than mock draft tools because Ghost Town, bad data, unreliable data. These are all paying people that paid $2 to $5 to $10 to $25 to play in that draft, so they're going to complete it. So it's complete all the way to the end. Whereas mock draft data, people quit after round 3, 4, run another one, quit after 4 or 5 rounds, run another one, and you have the computer piling bad ADP data onto the ends of drafts, and you don't know where guys like JD5 are going. You have JD5 in round 9-10 because ESPN and mock drafts are telling you it's round 9 and 10 because the computer picks are taken over by that point, and you don't have any good data on the later rounds. This tells you round 7, and JD5's a steal in round 7 or 8 if he was to fall, but there's nothing that takes the place of being capable of outscoring everyone, Vincent, in fantasy football. All players getting that player in round 4 and round 4.5. So I agree with you. JD5 is a great grab. I agree with you if Hurts gets taken and Josh Allen gets taken and Mahomes gets taken, your backup plan JD5 is fantastic. And I'm going to own a lot of shares of JD5. I got Burrow in one dynasty league, 1 QB. I just drafted JD5, and JD5, I believe, and I hate to say this, Burrow, put on your earmuffs, but I think JD5 is going to be starting by midseason, even if Burrow's healthy and firing on all cylinders. That's how much I love JD5. But doesn't change the fact that Hurts wins you a league, Vincent. Don't pass on mid-round quarterback. Vincent, I beg you not to listen to people that keep shoveling this horrible advice down people's throat to better to wait on a quarterback, better to wait on a quarterback. It's not better to wait on a quarterback, Vincent. It's not. It can be good if it naturally falls into place. It can be good if you miss out and someone snipes you with Hurts or Mahomes in round 4 and it doesn't fit, or best player available, somebody else falls in your lap that's better than Hurts or Mahomes at that pick. That's fine too. Your certain build goes a certain way, a receiver falls that shouldn't fall, that's okay too. You go Kelsey instead of Hurts or Mahomes, and then by the time you get to your next pick, Mahomes and Hurts are gone, and you have Kelsey and you like the Kelsey pick, then now you're going for JD5 and players like that later. That's okay. But don't ever let anybody tell you that it's better to wait on a QB, because it's not, Vincent. There's no right or wrong to it. There are all kinds of amazing ways to smash your draft. DC, dude, we're in the middle of getting ready to do a draft, so I'm going to have you call back in a second. But if you got something, drop it real quick.
Yeah, Greg Dortch. Why is he so low?
Because he's got Wilson and MHJ and Zay Jones potentially ahead of him.
Okay, I'm just wondering why his ADP so low, because I think he could contribute this year.
I mean, he could. He could. There's nothing wrong with him. But you're asking why. That's why he's not a smash by any means. Hey, call back in like 2 minutes, okay? 4 minutes. Call back in 4 minutes.
All right.
DC dude's gonna call back. I'll have the open phone line in a second. Thank you for the super chat, Young. Thank you for the super chat, Vincent. And I disagree if you're standing to that stance. It's not better to wait on a QB, Vincent. It's better to take best player available, Vincent. It's better to take best player available, not wait on a QB. Waiting on a QB means you're not taking a QB early no matter what. That means you're taking a position, not a player. Always draft a player. Never, ever, ever draft or not draft. Avoid a position or draft a position. Draft a player. Always. And that might, and sometimes and most always, be Hurts and Mahomes if they're there in round 4. We're jumping into Best Ball Mania. $25 entry. Punch it now. BBM 5. Hit it right now. Okay? Enter right now. Jump in. Let me get it set up on my screen here. And we're gonna jump in and smash this draft to pieces. Best Ball Mania. Let's go. Let's see here. Starts in 57 seconds. That filled quick. Let me expand my screen. Let me put the draft board up so you guys can watch the entire draft. And then I'll share my screen. Here is said draft. It looks like I got the 12 pick. That's intriguing. I don't think we've done the 12 pick for a while, right? So that's pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and that's good. We'll leave it like, maybe I'll move this over a smidge. Move that over a hair. We'll move this over here and scooch that over there. There we go. Okay. Code Smitty, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. The link's in the description. Drop it like it's hot. Get in. If you missed getting into this draft, don't fret. Just get in the one alongside of it. All right. So CeeDee Lamb goes number 1 overall. Who do we have in here? I recognize some of you. We got Sebastian in here. We've got, is that Arno? That might be Arno. We got, I think Jim might be one of ours. I'm in the 12th spot. Alex might be one of ours. Okay, so Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, and now number 5 is on the clock. If you missed it, just jump in one alongside and draft using the process. Don't fret that you're not in this exact draft. Okay, from the 12th spot, man, this is going to be tough. I mean, I'll be very tempted to go running back if the wide receivers don't fall that I love. I'll be very, very tempted. I'll always have our slow drafts, Smitty, says Hoosiers. Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's see what happens. Amon-Ra. Bijan goes to Sebastian. Of course, he takes him. Don't blame him. Don't blame him at all. DJ on the clock. That might be one of ours, too. I think we got at least 4 guys in here, which is pretty good, considering how quickly other randoms jump in right away, you know. Puka. Your boy is soon to be on deck. Soon to be in the hole, then on deck. Yeah, Sebastian, I do feel like you take Bijan every time. Okay, Angel, Brees Hall. He's 8 feet tall. He's 8 feet tall, bro. Can't blame you for taking Brees Hall. Okay, A.J. Brown, I'm on deck here. So I really like my options. I got Gibbs and Harrison. I can't look. I'm not even hesitating here. I got Gibbs. I got Harrison. I got Barkley. I got JT. I got Drake London. I got Ayuk, Olave, Adams, Kyron. I mean, this is not even a hesitation in my mind. I'm going to take MHJ second to lower his ADP as much as I can contribute to that. These are two win league. I mean, Harrison might be going high to a lot of people, but still, he's so good. He's going to be so good right out of the gate. But Gibbs, Mahomes, and Hurts are the best values in fantasy. Gibbs going 12, there's no business of Gibbs going 12. Gibbs could be the number one running back in fantasy football 2024. He could be one of the top overall scorers, depending on quarterback scoring. And we talked about this earlier today on the video. If you missed it, go watch it. Gibbs first in the NFL in top 3 running back finishes. He had 6 top 3 running back finishes in a 9-week span. And I wonder, I haven't looked it up, but I wonder if that's a record in fantasy. I don't know if anybody's ever had, maybe back in the Falk days and Tomlinson, I imagine, but yeah, probably. Emmett, maybe CMC's had a year like that. But in a 9-game span, have 6 top 3 running back finishes in fantasy, that's it's like uncharted territory. So Gibbs and Harrison not only give me, in my opinion, the best duo so far, by far. I really look at it. I don't see anybody has a duo like mine. I balance. I love doing a best ball draft with balance if possible to kick it off so you're not forcing yourself, biasly to go a position instead of a player. Again, draft a player, not a position. If you can keep that in mind, you'll be an absolute superstar. What did Hoosiers say? Hoosiers is apologizing for what he said. What did Hoosiers say? I don't know why that was my response. Oh. I think you just was saying something about somebody. I don't know. It's fine. Hoosiers, I don't think anybody felt like you were hating on them. All right. Let's go. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Live
call
from
into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in to the phone lines brought to you by, look at this, Musk Cuff Board. I haven't hit this in a while. Look at this Musk Cuff Board. That's fantastic. Corum, Kyron, Benson, Connor. Garendo, if he gets the job, will be here. If he doesn't, then he falls because, you don't know who to cuff. You could say Mitchell, Garendo are the, if we put Mitchell on this board too. We'll come back to this. It's a great board. We got to reference that all year long, baby. All right, look at these teams so far. From the far left, 12, that's me. Gibbs and Marvin Harrison. From the 11 spot, Garrett Wilson, JT. From the 10 spot, A.J. Brown, Nico. From the 9 spot, Brees Hall, Barkley. From the 8 spot, Puka and Drake London. From the 7 spot, Bijan and Kyron. I like that. Sebastian, probably would consider that myself. It's definitely a nice, fun approach. And then you look at wide receiver here, and you'll probably be okay. There's a lot of wide receivers off the board. Look at that chunk of wide receivers from pick 19 down all the way to 24, and then the 3 picks in the 3rd round. It's like it gets dangerous. Achane falling to the 3rd round.
mashed potatoes.
I don't know what I can say other than this is like a glorious day. This is the day that maybe we'll remember as the day that Achane might have breached the 3rd round on the regular. I don't know. I don't know if that's an accurate statement or if this is just a one-off draft. But the fact that Achane fell is head-scratching to me. Achane to the 3rd round, this is a great day. If this is a real thing, then we're going to be celebrating. Let me look at the ADP data, and I'll have to look at it and see where his ADP is falling. But that's a great day right there. We've got Dawson from Utah. Dawson from Utah, you're live on the show. What can I do for you, buddy?
What do you think of Tony Pollard?
Who's that? Is that guy that used to play football for the Cowboys that disappointed us and absolutely made us like regret believing in him? And I don't know, bro. I mean, how can we trust him? You know, and not to mention Spears is the guy we love. I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what, Pollard, depends where you get him. Like, if you give me some scenarios, I'm like, do you like him or Pollard? Do you like him or Pollard? I can tell you Pollard. I'm sure I can muster up a Pollard or two. But am I, like, putting him on the Moon Man list again? Am I hyping him up? Am I just afraid to double down on him because he disappointed me? No, I really believe I'm not going near him. It just depends. But hit me with what you're thinking, bro.
I don't know. I was just watching a draft today, and I saw him go in, like, the 10th round, and that was just, like, crazy to me.
Yeah.
I thought that was, like, in the 10th round, that felt like good value.
This is crazy right here because Josh Allen rarely falls here, but I'm going to stick with my guns here and say that Jalen Hurts is he's my ride and die, like, 4th round pick here. And you know, I haven't seen this happen very often. That really is. And I'm gonna go against like stacking tendencies here. I know so many people love to stack here. I'm gonna go. Well, technically it's stacking. I'm gonna go McBride. I could have went Kelsey, but I'm gonna go McBride. I'm gonna go high upside here. I got Gibbs. I got Marvin Harrison Jr. I got Jalen Hurts. I got McBride. The most well-rounded build you could have. And, you know, it's like sidecar stacking with Harrison Jr. and McBride. But I love this team. I love this team so far. I'm feeling really, really good about it. I'm sorry. Go Dawson. What else were you saying?
What do you think of Pollard in, like, the 10th round? Because I'm not even, like, that high on him. Like, I wasn't that high on him. But, like,
I guess the 10th round's okay. I mean, you'd have to give me a couple players. Give me 2 players, and I'll say Pollard or that guy. Go ahead. Hit me with it.
Let me look at my rankings so fast.
Because, like, Pollard's going...
Pollard...
Yeah, where is he going?
Pollard or Swift?
Neither. Just because I'd rather go a different player. But if I had to choose, I would say probably Pollard, and then I would cuff him to Spears, but barely. I think Swift's gonna get hurt, bro.
What about Pollard or Brian Robinson?
Probably Pollard and then cuff him to Spears. But I could go Brian Robinson just as easily. They're very close. I'd rather have like the two. Yeah, it's tough, man. That's a tough one. All right, hold on, Dawson. Hang tight. Mute if you don't mind. DC dude, thanks for calling back. What else you got, bro? You're live.
Yo, hey, listen. I noticed you and a lot of people are really high on Jameer Gibbs. I'm just not sure that they're going to start to phase David Montgomery out. I mean, listen. Jameer Gibbs is not an in-between-the tackle runner.
What do you mean?
Like David Montgomery is.
What do you mean he's not? Bro, that's the most backwards thing I've heard in a long time. Not to mention, you got no evidence for this whatsoever, and I have evidence to counter your claim that you just made. Like you have nothing to go on, and I have everything to go on.
No,
he is a between.
Listen, I got last year to go off of.
Yeah, okay. You want to talk about last year to go off of when he's starting by himself? Because I've got both running back numbers in front of me, bro. Right here. Let me see if I can pull up the Monty stats. Monty goes down. Let me put them right on top of each other here, bro. As you're sitting here suggesting one thing, bro. The moment Monty went down, guess what number Gibbs was in week 7 by himself? Running back 3. taking the between the tackle runs. Guess what number he was in week 8 by himself? Running back 1. Guess what number he was after the bye week, even when Monty came back and took on more work? Running back 2. Guess what he was the next week? Running back 3. So come on. Don't act like he's not between the tackles running back.
Wait.
Not to mention, Monty had 2 good games, bro. Monty was garbage almost the entire rest of the year. I've got the data right in front of your face. There was no running back.
Red zone touches.
Bro, he started by himself.
Smitty.
He started by himself. What are you talking about?
What if he don't get hurt?
It doesn't matter what was or what is. And plus, not only did you miss today's show, the GM came out today and said he's going to get more work. Monty's still going to be there, but he's going to get more work. This is coming from the GM himself. Brad Holmes said he expects Jahmyr Gibbs. You know what you sound like, bro? And I love you, pal, but you sound like a guy that doesn't have the shares, and you're trying to justify why you missed out on it. Like, if I go against him, then I could be right from last year. How are you going to sit here and say this isn't a between-the-tackle running back? What are you talking about?
Smitty, wait a minute. Hold up. Listen, I have shares in Jahmyr Gibbs, right? I just need you to sell me on it because I'm not all the way sold.
Well, I'm selling you on it. When he was starting by himself, he was the number 3 and number 1 running back in the National Football League. What more do you need?
But what if David don't get hurt, though?
When he came back, he was still running back 2, running back 3. Bro, he had 4 top 3 running back finishes after the bye week when Monty returned. 4.
All right, just answer me one question. A healthy Monty and a healthy Gibbs, who gets the red zone touches?
Bro, they're going to split him at worst case, like they did down the stretch. You have an entire representation from week 10 all the way down to week 17 where they split carries, and Gibbs was top 3 in the NFL 4 times out of a 7-game span. You know what I'm saying?
I love you, but you and I know that Monty getting the goal line carry. You know that.
No, he's not. I'm not. I don't know that, and I'm not admitting that at all.
He did last year, even when.
Bro, you're not listening to me. He did last year what? He did last year what? They split the goal line carries. Don't you remember every time Gibbs was in there in the second half after the bye week from week 9, whoever is in there stayed in there. They didn't do that rotational thing like they did at the end of the season. Hold on, I got to make a pick here. Hold on. Oh, this is tough. This is tough. Dang it. I was timing out. Let me switch back over. Because
who did you take?
Everyone's missing the draft. Well, I was timing out on I got Walker and Worthy. I don't mind it, but it's all right. Bro, I hear what you're trying to say, but I 1,000% disagree with it. It sounds like you're coming from a place of just skepticism, and you're afraid. You're afraid that what's theirs is going to come crumbling down. This is like the syndrome when somebody has someone doing good and they trade them just because they feel like it's too good to be true, and they get rid of them and they regret it. Like, why did I trade him? Like, the fact that you're running away from Gibbs being in a 9-game stretch, bro. In a 9-game stretch, he was running back 3 6 times. And from the bye week on, when he was a running back, who in 4 out of 7 weeks. 4 out of 7 weeks, bro. He was a top 3 running back while Monty was back, while they were splitting carries. And not to mention, like I said, if you watch the games, anytime Gibbs was in there and it was a goal line carry, Gibbs stayed in and got it. Anytime Monty was in there and it was a goal line carry, Monty stayed in and got it. In the beginning of the year, they'd rotate him out and put Monty in. Not to mention, Monty's another year older and had a horrible season and was injured a big portion of it. So I don't know what you're thinking as far as Monty. Monty did not have a good season.
Okay, look, I hope you're right, because I got JD5, I got Bijan, and I got Gibbs in a league where first place is 1,200. So, listen, I hope you're right. Listen, one last question for you. Bucky Irvin, how much is he going to eat into Rashad White's carry or touches?
At the beginning, nothing. Like he's got it. This is Tank Bigsby right now. Bucky Irving's got to earn the backup role before he can even be a threat at all to Rachaad White. So let's see how he does in pass protection. Let's see how he picks up the offense. Like Bucky Irving is definitely not a world star. Like he's coming in as a good player, and Rachaad White was the better prospect in my mind and played phenomenal last year, minus some yards per carry, stuff that they, they're hoping he can work on this year. But I don't necessarily blame a lot of that on him because he's a good player. He's a really good player. All right. Hey, DC, dude, mute yourself. You can think of another question and I'll come back to you in 1 second. Let me read this super chat that I've got here, and then I'm going to go over to Young, who's been holding. John S., if you could mute. Dawson, if you can mute. And DC, dude, if you can mute. And Young, I'm coming to you in 1 second. $5 hauler from Amon. Dynasty Superflex. If you were trading away Addison in this year's rookie draft, what picks are you looking for in return? I have the 2.2 and 2.8. I would trade Addison for... God, this is tough because you get to obviously Brian Thomas Jr. I'd take Brian Thomas Jr. I'd take every receiver above him. I'd take Trey Benson. I'd take Brock Bowers. And then you get to that point where it's like Addison probably is worth a late first, early second round pick when you think about his value and what he could bring to the table. However, I don't like JJM, so I'm very much apt to lean toward a Keon Coleman. So I guess you could say any late first round pick at all. I'd probably say that the player I take there I would like better. I know not everybody's going to agree with me on that, and that's fine. But that's kind of where I think my mentality is. So it's a great question. Let me go over to Young. Thank you for the super chat. Young, what's up, my man? You're live.
Yo, what up, Smitty?
What's up?
So I know you said if you have Achane to get Mostert, cuff Mostert and Wright, but let's just say you only can cuff one of them. Are you going Mostert or Jalen Wright?
So Mostert to Achane or Wright to Achane, but you can only do one. Probably Mostert, bro, just because that's a tough one. It's a really tough one. It's a great question. And that's why on the cuff board, this dilemma is present whenever you're drafting either of Achane or Mostert. You want to cuff Wright to whichever one you have, right? But you have the flip side of, do you get Mostert, Achane? I imagine you could probably get all three though. But if you can't, I don't know, man. That's tough. That's a really tough one.
Yeah.
I probably go Mostert because he's the starter. Why would you want to take the backup and hopes that he not only learns the system, doesn't screw up, doesn't fumble the chance away? What if he's not good at pass protection in this offense? And Tua is a big worry for that, right? So I would probably say. All right, hang tight. I got a draft. I got a draft here real quick. Yep. Hold on. Jeez. I guess I'm gonna go. I went Jonathan Brooks. Man, wide receivers are getting thin. I'm gonna go Hopkins here to get another wide receiver. It's redraft, so I'm feeling like he could have one decent year for sure. So I got Gibbs, I got Harrison, I got Jalen Hurts, I got Trey McBride, I got Kenneth Walker, I got Xavier Worthy, I got Brooks. I got no stacks going on, but I am definitely not somebody that forces a stack just to have it and picks lesser players. And you can find content for that in other places. You're not going to see me forcing stupid stacks just to have correlations with a team that will never make it the distance. And so I'd rather much draft best player available, especially in when we do end up getting to the weekly winners. That's even a more of a case for that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What were you saying, Young?
That's really all I have for tonight, man. That was my only question, but appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Good question. If you got another one, call back. John S., what's up, my guy? John, you're live.
I got a question. So my question is, which out of the LA Charger receivers you think is the best? Because a lot of people tell me that they think Ladd's going to get the most massive target share.
I think Ladd's probably the best bet. The only question I'd have and concern I'd have and caution I guess I would have is that everything Harbaugh does has been completely unpredictable. Even the drafting of, you could say, Joe Alt was at first very shocking to everybody. Then as he started talking about it, people were like, okay, he's serious about this. And then everybody says predictable because he had said it. But before that, it was neighbors. Everybody and their mother was saying they got rid of Keenan Allen. They're going neighbors. And he was unpredictable in his direction, but he just telegraphed it. So it became, but that was an unpredictable path. And then on top of Joe Alt, it was like they didn't even need Joe Alt's. They have to move Joe Alt to the other side of the offensive line because they already have that covered. Like what's that about? Like, this guy's unpredictable in a lot of ways, but that was predictable because of how unpredictable he's been. Like it's crazy when you really think about it. But this is a scenario where, like, Ladd McConkey can't make mistakes. Ladd McConkey can't come in and drop footballs. Ladd McConkey is 100% gonna have an opportunity, but with a Harbaugh situation, it's next man up. It's no one's better than the next guy, so you don't really know. He's not going to just be like, that's my superstar, I'm going to feed him. It could be the wild, wild west out there. I would put my money on, if I'm drafting any Charger at all, and I'm not really drafting a lot of Chargers at all, period. It's Vidal, the rookie. I think Vidal gets the starting job just by way of injury. Not to mention I do like him a lot, so he's a big time sleeper. But you're looking at a potential mess there, I think, in LAC. So if I draft McConkey, he is my number one ranked wide receiver, but I certainly don't love drafting him right now. I just don't. I could change my mind on that. I reserve the right to not have everything figured out, even though I'm a so-called expert doing this for a living daily on here. I still have my changing opinion, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm open-minded to McConkey going out there looking fantastic and Herbert having this immense connection with them, and I'm going, you know what, never mind. I love what I'm seeing. I've reserved that right. Everyone has every right to change their mind. I think people get too prideful, and they're like, oh, I already said this. I don't care if I said that or this. If I feel differently, I will tell you guys. I will do a live stream and say, I'm feeling different about McConkey. I'm sorry, I do. And I'll do it. But right now, I'm not feeling excited. Oh, I'm on the clock. Hold on a second. Okay, Javante, no. God, it got thin. Let's
do another receiver, backup quarterback.
Let's see here. I'm gonna go AD Mitchell and just take a gamble. So I got some rookie. I've stacked Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert there. I've got McBride. I don't mind bully tight end, especially when you're really not even bully tight end. It's a late selection, but I got sniped on my Kyler Murray. I was trying to get a Kyler Murray, McBride, and Marvin Harrison stack on top of my Jalen Hurts. Some people are like, hey, Smitty, you're not stacking it all, but I'm creatively trying to cook up. You know, I'm chewing gum and walking at the same time. I'm creatively trying to cook up a stack that I got burned on. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. But if I had gotten Kyler, even though he's my second quarterback, it's best ball, your optimal scoring. So if Kyler is scoring like balls out crazy in 1 week with Marvin Harrison Jr. and McBride, I would have had that stack. But Kyler got snagged a little early in what was it? It was round 7. So coming over to me, I almost got him in that Jonathan Brooks pick, and I would have taken Kyler with one of those picks. I really would have, and that would have been a nice, crafty, like cheap version of a stack I got going on there. But Adam says A.T. Perry to the moon. I don't know about that, bro. I like A.T. Perry though, but I don't know if he's going to the moon. I'd say, he could maybe go on a little like flight into the atmosphere, where you don't actually breach space and then come back down. You pay a little fee to get up there and take a little trip. I don't think A.T. Perry's even stepping into the space station, awaiting a flight to the moon. But I like him. I just don't think moon capable. Okay, John S., anything else?
I mean, I was gonna. Well, I mean, if you brought up A.T. Perry, yeah, it's fine. But I was gonna go back to get your thoughts on if you think Olave is gonna still do good this year, even with Carr.
It's a great question, man. I wish I could tell you I felt very confident in Olave, and any lack of confidence I have in Olave.
You had him high last year.
Yeah, any lack of confidence I have in Olave is merely due to his situation, which, quite honestly, I don't know if anybody else feels this way about New Orleans, but New Orleans feels like a cloudy, like I almost, like this is the best way I have to describe it. Like, you're looking at the field, you're looking at all the players, you're looking at all the potential production, and it just feels really like musky and cloudy. I can't even see through it. I don't even know how to digest it. Whereas the Eagles, clear as day, I see everything. I know where Barkley is. I know what he's capable of doing. Goddard, everything. It's like New Orleans. I just can't even see through this cloud, this smoke, this absolutely muddy situation. I don't know what to look at. I don't know what to expect week 4. I don't know who's quarterbacking week 7. I don't know if what this is going to look like. I don't know how good Kamara is going to be. I don't know if Kamara's bad. It's because the team's bad and we think he fell off, but he really does fall off at the end of the year anyway. And so we see a wasted year at Kamara. I like Kendre Miller a lot, but man, I don't know. It feels like McLaurin 2.0. It feels like DJ Moore 2.0. A bunch of years without a quarterback, and we don't know how good Olave is. The moment he gets his quarterback, once DJ Moore got Fields, DJ Moore became a top 5 to 7 potential quarter or wide receiver. So I think Olave's not going to lose it. It's going to take him some years to like lose the edge. He's got the edge. He just needs a quarterback. God, what would be best for him is to get traded, to be honest with you. To get sent packing to Buffalo. Imagine Olave midseason trade to Buffalo. It'd be unreal. But I just don't like I don't believe in New Orleans, bro. New Orleans is a very bad situation right now. Maybe it clears up that musky or that cloud over it. It could clear up, and then all of a sudden it's like, Rattler saves the day, and they build around Rattler, and he's an amazing steal. Like that's what we need to happen. If Rattler is a steal, and he could be, I like Rattler a lot. Rattler was a very good prospect. That ended up, let me go Kirk Cousins here. Rattler was a very good prospect that ended up, I'll go Leggett. I'm getting a lot of rookies. I got rookie fever in this draft. But rookies are great in best ball because they're going to have their moments. A.D. Mitchell, Leggett, Xavier Worthy. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get some production out of that crew. Rattler did that quarterback special or whatever, that series on QBs and such, and it made such a bad impression on a lot of clubs that they said they avoided Rattler altogether because of that QB documentary thing he did or whatever. And so there's a lot of people that question him, but had he not done that, I wonder what his value would have been, because it affected him so negatively. Everybody, more than 1-2 people vocally verbally said that, hey, Rattler, I didn't take him we didn't take him because of that stupid, show he did or whatever. So I'd probably say Rattler is the hope of Olave. If Olave gets a sneaky good, Brock Purdy type of emergence out of Rattler, like if Rattler's even remotely close to that, like even 12, quarterback 12, quarterback 8, quarterback 9, quarterback 12, whatever, then Olave could go to the moon. But we'll see, bro. We'll see. Anything else?
Thanks for your input.
All right, later, John. Appreciate you. Don't sell a lot. Nobody should be selling Olave cheap either, because his situation could change quickly. Like I said, Rattler could be the situation change. They could trade him or something weird. I don't know. I mean, no one's talked about that at all. You know, what if he got traded? You imagine Olave with the quarterback, like, and a situation. So we'll see. Maybe Rattler surprises. Like, I really am hopeful that Rattler can turn that franchise around. They need it. And not only do they need it for Olave and Kendre Miller, but even A.T. Perry. We talked about A.T. Perry a minute ago. I like him. I just don't know that there's moon-worthy capability there. DC Dude, what's up? Any final questions? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, listen, great points about Rattler. I really like Rattler. I think he will be the savior down there in New Orleans. And, I feel, the same, as you do about, JD5. I'm a Commanders fan, as you see, DC Dude. Of course, I'm a diehard Commanders fan. So I think he's going to be QB2, QB3 next year. I think he's going to have a huge year, man.
He's that dude. He's that dude, bro.
Man, he is. But look, I wanted to run something by you real quick. My phone on 13%, so I can't be long. So listen, my draft philosophy. Of course, I take a lot of things into consideration when I'm drafting, right? But one of my main philosophies is always drafting number one. Number one, right? Always drafting number one. No number twos if you can avoid it. That's why guys like, maybe Jahan Dotson or T. Higgins or, guys like Keenan Allen or even that whole Houston wide receiver core, I'm a little skeptical because I don't know who's number one, who's number two. So my draft philosophy is always drafting number ones if you can, avoid number twos. I know I miss out on a lot of guys, but that's just my philosophy. What you think about that?
I don't hate the philosophy in terms of, like, what does history tell us about that? So I don't disagree with you that, like, I can't draft Waddle as my number one wide receiver when he's a number two on his team. It's ridiculous. And I said that last year. Waddle's ADP breached number 13, 14 overall last year. People forget. He was going at 2.1 and 2.2, 13 and 14 overall last year at a certain point in the offseason. And I was losing it. On the live streams, I was like, what are you guys doing? He's the second wide receiver in this offense. What are you doing? So, to a degree, I feel that way. But I think where it could get tricky for you is like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Like, Devontae Smith could be the one, bro. It could that flip could happen at any moment. He's been a top 9 wide receiver before. I really very, very much love.
No, but that's why I avoid him. I avoid Devontae Smith because, in my opinion, he's number two.
Well, that's your opinion. That's what I'm saying. It could get tricky for you because you think you've got that handled, and I'm gonna step in and disagree that he very much. Hold on, let me make this pick real quick. Take Vidal here, and then I got a lot of wide receivers so far, but I don't. Let me just see. God, do I go another rookie wide receiver? Let's go Malachi Corley. I'm just going to keep drafting. Look, it's a good way to take stabs at filling your wide receiver 3 is grab just every rookie, that you think could explode. So I hear what you're saying, but you're also going to run to a point, DC Dude, where there's no more number ones left. Like, I get what you're saying, like, at a certain point early on in the draft. And I share that philosophy for the most part, but it's only because it correlates with my thinking. It correlates with how I view the player. Like, traditionally, I'm never going to see a Waddle better than, a player that has that number one capability. But I think where it's going to get tricky for you
Terry McLaurin. I was about to make that point. Like Terry McLaurin. See, I would draft Terry McLaurin over Waddle.
Okay, but here's the problem. It's like Dotson does have the ability, and he was completely misused last year to become the one. And that's where it gets tricky for you. Just like Debo and Ayuk, that gets tricky for you. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown gets tricky because A.J. Brown's got a history of knee injuries and knee surgeries. And your knees don't regrow your meniscus. You start cutting away at that, you're definitely running the risk of, as you get older, you're going to potentially be a knee injury concern. So I think you just run into problems there with that kind of thinking at some point. But I don't disagree with the general thought that if you're number 2 on the team and people are drafting you ahead of better options, and it's really more about the players around them. So I don't know if it's so much the philosophy. It's just the philosophy correlates with typically if you're drafting the number 2 on a team, there's a number 1 on another team available, they're probably a better prospect no matter what. But I hear you. I don't disagree with that. I think it's not crazy. But I'll always draft a player, not a position, or not stick to a certain like cemented in thought process, because what if you believe that Devontae Smith is going to be the number 1? So just case by case. I think Devontae Smith, and the same thing with like Tank Dell. Like at what point are you really not going to draft Tank Dell? Let's say if he fell to round 5 because he's not in your mind the number 1, he absolutely could be the number 1.
Yeah, so now that's why I avoid that Houston situation. I'm not invested in none of those guys, and I love Tank Dell, but I don't know who's number 1, so I just stay away from Houston. That's just me right now. Maybe in a month or so that'll change once we get more information on what's going on.
I don't hate it. I follow it naturally, just out of like the way that I draft. But I think there are some exceptions. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, for sure. I factor in a lot of things, but that's just one of my base points. Thanks, Smitty, man. I appreciate it.
All right, hey, DC, dude, appreciate you. Don't doubt Gibbs. I'm telling you, bro. Don't even for a second doubt him. He is arguably, I don't know. There's probably a couple of running backs that have done what he's done. I'm not a positive on I'd have to find the data, search it out. But the fact that Gibbs has had in a 9-game stretch from week 7 to week 16, 9 games, he was a top 3 running back 6 times out of 9 games in that straight 9-game span. I'm not talking about like cherry picking. I'm saying from week 7 to week 16, in that exact 9-game stretch, he was running back 3 6 times. Top 3 running back 6 times. He was running back 1, 2, 3, and 3, and then 2 additional weeks 3 and 3. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And the fact that you think he's not between the tackle carry guy, just go rewatch his highlights and watch how many amazing runs he has between the tackles. And specifically touchdown runs where his acceleration is so quick that he's like jogging when he gets about 5 yards away from the end zone and people are closing in on him. And his acceleration, he's going at like 70%. Everybody's going 100 and they can't close in when they have the angle on him. Him and Achane have the best acceleration in the NFL. Breece Hall pretty good too.
Listen, I love Gibbs. I've been watching them since Georgia Tech. You know what I mean? So I get it. But my thing is Detroit, right? They have Super Bowl aspirations. So if that's the case, then you need a guy like David Montgomery to go up that middle, take a pounding inside with them big boys, and they will, and you let Gibbs do his thing. But you need David if you Detroit.
Yeah, but that's again. But when they're playing together, you see the numbers. Unless you can't see my screen right now, they literally. Hold on 1 second. Let me draft. I'm going to time out here. Good God. Well, with another rookie. It's just an all-rookie team. The all-rookie squad. Hold on 1 second. Let's go. What do I have here? I've got Jalen Hurts. Let me. I'm gonna draft him so early. I'm gonna time out. I'm gonna draft. Okay, whatever. What was I saying? What were we talking about?
Yeah, we were talking about. I don't know. I forgot too. I'm listening to you. I was trying to figure out who you was gonna pick.
We're talking about Gibbs. We're talking about Monty. Oh, Monty. Like, of course we want Monty to get involved, bro. But you got to understand, like, everybody's got a backup running back. And I'm not saying that Monty's like your traditional backup running back, but the GM came out and said himself, like today. I have the quote up here. We pulled it up and talked. We did a whole show on it earlier. If you missed the show, it's the Jahmyr Gibbs show. It was earlier today. It was the 8 p.m. show. His GM, Brad Holmes, said he expects Gibbs to see more workload in 2024. And he did say that, Monty's going to still be there, but it was very much an endorsement that Gibbs is a starter. So as much as you want to say that Monty's going to take away from him, it's not so much taking away from him, it's keeping him healthy. Like, Gibbs is an efficient guy, And if you think Monty's getting all the work in the middle, you no offense, I don't mean this in a bad way, but you didn't watch Gibbs at the end of the year, or you're forgetting. That's why I'm saying go back and rewatch it, because from the bye week on, when Gibbs was on the field, he did not get taken off the field when he got in the goal line. They gave him the touchdown. They would rotate series, which is fine by me, because you want Gibbs getting 14 to 15 carries a game, not 25. And they run the ball so much in Detroit. They need Monty, and I've never once argued that they don't need Monty, but you came in saying we got to worry about Gibbs getting what we're expecting him to get, and that's a whole different conversation. Monty getting his share of the work is fine, and it's expected, and it's needed, because they run more than the average team, but it doesn't mean that I'm worried at all about him meeting an expectation that, bro, he set the expectation. Can I ask you a question? Is it fair to say that Gibbs will be used at least as much, if not more, this year than last year? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, he'll be used more.
Okay.
Right. Yeah,
so
he will be used more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I put the game logs above each other, and we say Gibbs was not used until week number 7. Gibbs was not used until week number 7. Okay. So if we're going to use week 7, I lined them up. If we're going to use week 7 on, Gibbs is running. Let me read them off to you, okay? From week 7 on, because Gibbs wasn't used before then properly at all. He was running back 3, running back 1, running back 2, running back 3, running back 24, running back 29, running back 15, running back 3, running back 3, and then running back 49. If once he got going in week 7, even if Gibbs didn't get any more work at all from week 7 on, if we extrapolate that data, I venture to say that's number 3, like 2 or 3 overall for running backs on the year. So even if he gets used the exact same way that he got used once he was in there, even when Monty was there, that, like, if he doesn't see any more work, he's already getting top 5 running back numbers just by just being used, because he wasn't used until week 7.
Right. So does your opinion of him change if you're playing half PPR?
No. I mean, it's going to affect some guys a little bit, like maybe, you know, for drafting, I don't know. Probably not too much. No.
Okay.
Not really. Half PPR doesn't do much for me.
I love him. I am invested.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, bro.
Look. Wait, no, hold up. Listen, I love him. I am invested. I just think maybe his ADP is just a little too high. Second round is just maybe a little too high for me. That's all I'm saying. All right, Smitty. Thank you, fam.
But hold on, real quickly. His ADP is 12. That's too high?
Right, that's second round.
Second round's too high.
Second round's too high. I think third round is where he should be, but I am invested.
Third round, but bro, he was running back 10, and he wasn't used till week 7. He was on pace for being a top 3 running back. Like, what would make you think round 3 is like, that's a kick to the nutsack? Like you saying round 2 is too. I was like, whoa! But when you said round 3, that's where he's drafted last year.
Right, that's my point.
But he earned. But he even earned that, especially since you weren't starting. Maybe you weren't starting Gibbs the entire. Maybe you did in week 1 and week 2, and you were like pissed off, and a lot of people were. But like, if you supplemented somebody else and didn't use him till week 7, you had top like. Oh, okay, all right. Hey, I gotta go. Appreciate you, DC dude. Later.
All right.
Round 3. Round 3 is wild. That was wild. Oh God, I'm gonna time out now, aren't I? I'm gonna time out. Who did I time out on? Tight end. Who did I get? Jonu Smith. Damn it. Damn it. Okay, I need a quarterback. I kind of like this move here. I timed out. I didn't mean to mess up on that. That's right. That's the cost of taking phone calls and having a live show to navigate. But I ended up going Penix Jr. because I have Kirk Cousins. So I've stacked Kirk Cousins and Penix Jr. to go with my Hurts. So I kind of like this move in best ball this year, because you're locking down the Atlanta Falcons passing attack. You're accounting for bye weeks because you got two different players. Hopefully they don't have the same bye week. And then the fact that I'm just gonna be covered with that, especially because I love Penix Jr. I love that. I've got Jahmyr Gibbs, Kenneth Walker, Jonathan Brooks. I got Vidal. I got Isaac Guerrero. Kind of a thin running back stable. If I didn't time out twice, I would have had probably a better running back stable. My wide receivers are Marvin Harrison Jr., Xavier Worthy. It's kind of a upside group, a group full of upside, but a lot of questions. Xavier Worthy, DeAndre Hopkins, A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Legette, Malachi Corley, Javon Baker. And then my tight end room is I timed out on Jonnu Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Trey McBride. So pretty good team. Gibbs, Kenneth Walker, Jonathan Brooks, Hurts, Penix Jr., Cousins, Marvin Harrison Jr., Xavier Worthy, DeAndre Hopkins, A.D. Mitchell, Legette, etc. And then McBride and Goddard, as I said. So, not my very, very best team. Is fun, a fun build from the 12 spot. Didn't get some of the stacks I was going for. I'm not one that forces stacks, but I find them naturally throughout the draft. And my Kyler Murray with McBride and Harrison Jr. stack got ripped from me just moments before I was picking. So that kind of ruined my deep-seated stack plan inside this draft. But I still like my team. As far as these teams here, who's the best team? I hate the one slot. I think it's the dumbest way to draft. No offense if that guy's in the group. I think he might be because he's been in a couple of our drafts, but I hate that draft style. I think it's great to go wide receiver, even 3 wide receivers in a row. I've done 4 before when it's fallen just a certain way, but to literally keep forcing it, I just Najee was a good RB to get. I won't lie, and JD5's a great quarterback to get. So there's some upside here, but I just don't like that team. I hate that many. You're drafting a position. You're not drafting a player, as I always say. Christian McCaffrey, Mike Evans, DK Metcalf, Dalton Kincaid. I like the 2 pick. That's pretty decent. Number 3 is doing the same thing. It's just no thanks. I love the Benson pick, but I don't. There's no reason to do that. I know everyone's gonna say receivers win. I can win just as easily grabbing receivers late than trying to force them here and missing out on this other value that's just better draft value. Chase, Debo, Achane, Lamar Jackson, Andrews, Roma Dunze, David Montgomery. I like this team a lot. I think the 4 picks so far is the best team that I've reviewed anyway. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see here. Justin Jefferson. I like that 4 spot. Justin Jefferson, Adams, Derrick Henry, Travis Kelce, CJ Stroud, Kamara. I like that team. That team's really good too. Amon-Ra, Brandon Ayuk, Michael Pittman Jr. Not a fan of Michael Pittman Jr. in round 3, especially with the kind of early Ayuk pick as well. Not saying Ayuk's bad, but together that's hard. That's tough. I don't love that. Yeah, number 4 is the most well-rounded. I like that. Okay, number 6 slot. Yeah, I like the 5 one. I like the 4 and 5 so far. Amon-Ra, Brandon Ayuk. Oh, I did the 6. Number 7, Bijan, Kyron. This is Sebastian. I like the start. Devontae Smith, Patrick Mahomes. Look, I like this team a lot. You got Kyle Pitts, you got Stevenson, Zach Moss. I really like it. I think it's in the top 3 so far. You, number 4, number 5. So 4, 5, 7. Puka, Drake London, Laporta, George Pickens. See, I would have went somewhere else with the George Pickens pick, maybe in the Cook pick. But I like the team, just not my favorite. Breece Hall, Barkley, Zay Flowers. I can't stand Zay. I love Zay Flowers, but I can't stand him in the 3rd round. He's got 4th-round ADP that I don't even love. So 3rd round, that's wild. No, I don't like that team. Look, McConkey way too early. I like the Jaden Reed pick. I like the Kyler pick. He took that from me. But I don't like the rest of that team minus the Barkley Breece Hall start. ETN's good value, but Zay and McConkey, I don't like how it turned out. And they might admit that too, that they had a good start. I mean, look, you redeploy that strategy. There's nothing wrong with the strategy. I didn't like the result, but that doesn't mean you don't rinse and repeat, because honestly, the Hall-Barkley start was fine. It was just the wide receiver taken. Like, I would have taken a chance on Cooper Kupp, even being an older potential drop-off player. And then I really kind of like that team. If that team took Cooper Kupp, I think it changes the whole dynamic of it. I like Zay, but this is my personal opinion. A.J. Brown, Nico, Jaden Waddle. Not a fan of Jaden Waddle. Round 3, that almost puts a fork in it for me right there. Jacobs, I love that value. Rashad White, good value. Marquise Hollywood Brown, Love, good value on Love. I like this team. I like it. I just not in my top 5 or 6. Garrett Wilson, this is 11 pick. Garrett Wilson, Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's it's a little early, but like, look at the wide receivers that got taken off the board. Look at all the orange from the first round, second round, and the majority of the third. I mean, it got dried up, so I don't blame Cooper Kupp. I would have taken Cooper Kupp and Hurts probably. So you had to take him early. So Garrett Wilson, JT, Kupp, Josh Allen, falling. I almost took Josh Allen, but I took Hurts instead. That's fantastic. Keon Coleman, nice little stack, natural stack there. A little early, but Joe Mixon, Deontay, Rashee Rice, Mike. I don't like the end of that draft. That could have maybe taken you out of the mix, the team 11. From just like early Keon Coleman, I love him, but early Keon Coleman, Joe Mixon, not a big fan. Deontay, not a big fan. Rashee Rice could be suspended for the entire season. Mike Williams is going to get hurt. Like, that fell off the rails really quick, but I absolutely love top 3 or 4 start in terms of Garrett Wilson, JT, Kupp, and Josh Allen. Top 4, top 3. Could be like number 1 at that point in the draft, and then it fell off. My team at the 12, I'll be honest with you. Gibbs, Harrison Jr., Hurts, Trey McBride. I don't think very many teams but the 11th spot started better. I didn't like how it fell. I got sniped a little bit, which is fine. I still love drafting with you guys, but it is hard to grab some of your sleepers because they get taken early and you can never get them to fall, and they normally will fall. But Kenneth Walker wasn't bad value. Worthy, well, it could work out okay. Jonathan Brooks, I'm waiting on him, but I think it'll be really good value. Hopkins, I think, is underrated. It's a good team. Goddard, I like the squad. I think it's a good squad. I don't think it's one, but a couple things happen and it could win. This grouping at least. I don't know about the whole thing, but I like it. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is the real deal, Gibbs is top 3 running back material. Hurts is the number 1 quarterback. Trey McBride's the number 1 or number 2 tight end. Kenneth Walker is a bounce back year. Worthy's the real deal. Like, this team's on the map. Like, no doubt about it. I like it. Is it my favorite team? Not my favorite team, but I do really like it. I don't regret the strategy. I think things could have fallen differently in non-Snipe City, but it's a good team, so I don't mind that at all. Bob from Cali, have I talked to you yet, bro? You've been on hold this whole time? What's up? You're live.
No, I haven't talked yet. I just want to ask you how important it is it this year in particular, with as many of the rookies coming out to draft a backup RB, whether it be dynasty, redraft, best ball, whatever it is. How important is that this year specifically, and are you using any specific strategies for that? Because obviously some of them are going to hit, some of them are going to bust.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 4 more to start. I just dropped a private draft, $3 entry, $20 to first place, but it's a private draft. That means we go from weeks 1 to 17, just the group of us together. It's like a little league. You can hit the info button on the draft to rename it like a Smitty draft and kind of monitor it all year. Try and take out Smitty. 4 more to start, 3 more to start. I just dropped the link if anybody wants to get in that private league. It's a great question, Bob. Are you meaning like drafting Quorum standalone or drafting Quorum for Kyron owners? Are you meaning like what do you? If you could clarify the rookie running back targeting
them as the back, like you have the main guy, and
yeah,
you have the backup.
Case by case, always case by case. And if we go to I don't know if you see my handcuff board, but we go to this board. I mean, it's like Quorum and Kyron case by case. Quorum and Kyron are the best cuff in football. And there's a lot of reasons why. You got McVay. It's really McVay. It's not necessarily, as much as I love Quorum, Quorum's a big part of it. He's a hungry guy that earned his way into his job. And anybody that says, oh, Corum's got better draft capital, so they're going to lean that way. That's not the way the world works. It's the way the world works on draft day. It's the way the world works when you haven't earned your stripes or anything like that. Sure, because the team's invested less in you. So if you get banged up, they'll just walk away from you because you're a low draft capital player. But once you breach into the elite and you're a high value player, you're above all that. So Kyron's 100% in my top 5 running backs, and I think he could lead the league in rushing touchdowns this year. I really, truly, truly do. I predicted it. And so cuffing Corum to that kind of player. Guys, 3 more to start. Hit the link. It's a slow draft, but 3 more to start. That kind of like cuff a player under McVay that's going to lead the league in touchdowns, and the backup is really competent, and he kind of mirrors Kyron's play a little bit. McVay likes him a lot. He's certainly going to spell him in a healthy way for Kyron, 80-20 type of thing. That like it's a must-have. Like you draft Kyron in a redraft, a best ball, an upcoming dynasty startup, and you don't cuff Corum to Kyron, you need to be completely ashamed of yourself. It is the easiest, most important cuff in fantasy 2024, and it's not ripping on Kyron's upside at all. And when you look at the Saturn men, I have them together.
The Saturn men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Whoops. So if you look at this the Saturn men list, it's Kyron and Corum together. But it's really Kyron, but it's an important cuff. And then when you get to like Achane and Wright or Mostert and Wright's important. Benson and Connor. I mean, Benson's the cuff right now, but Connor's really the second running back by midseason in my mind. And I know that some people disagree with me on that, but like cuffing Connor to Benson is what I'm doing. I'll draft Benson standalone before I draft Connor standalone, but the cuffing of the two is vital. Garendo, we don't know if Garendo's going to be the cuff or not. If he is, he's the 3rd most valuable cuff in fantasy. If he doesn't become the cuff, and Shanahan sometimes doghouses rookies and sometimes running backs can, avoid that. We just got to monitor that. If Garendo's not the backup, then Eli Mitchell I don't trust, I'm kind of drafting Garendo like down in this like unknown territory still because I love Garendo's talent. You talk about like Gibbs and Monty. Gibbs is the starter. All the starters are on the right side. Monty's the cuff. Harris is the starter. Warren's the cuff. Can these stand alone? Yeah. Like everything's so case by case, bro. It's so case by case. And Lloyd and Jacobs, that's an important cuff. I got that one right here. That might even move up because of how they like Lloyd, and Lloyd's progressing early, but well. Allen and Breece Hall, it's important, but it's not a necessity. Vidal and the Charger running backs, I'd rather just draft Vidal. So you see how everything's like case by case. I'm not cuffing Vidal to anybody. I'm just drafting Vidal. So Shipley to Barkley, kind of a nice cuff. That's important. Everything's case by case, bro. There's no blanket way to approach handcuffing.
Is there any running back outside of Trey Benson that you're drafting standalone? Like you absolutely want them, no matter what.
Benson's becoming one of my absolute must grabs. But Garendo too. I'm drafting a lot of standalone to Garendo, just because like he is like round 18 material. Like you could like he's the guy you're going to end up contemplating cutting after week 1 when you need to pick somebody up, and you're like, damn it, who do I cut? Garendo's my last pick. Like, so it's not like he's hurting you if he fails or you jump the gun on him or whatever. So Garendo, and sometimes you can taxi squad him. It depends where, what kind of league you have. But Garendo, in a dynasty, he'll get drafted. But, I mean, you can still taxi squad him. But Garendo's fantastic, man. I would say on this list, like the must-have for me is Benson. And then as far as rookies,
I feel like this deserves a whole video on its own. Yeah.
I mean, we did do the cuff video. We did. But like another, I could go all day on this stuff. But Shipley's interesting. Probably Vidal. A lot of standalone Vidal, and then maybe Lloyd. But Benson's a mile above everybody. And the fact that Connor's the starter and Benson's going like 90 to 100 overall on Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. And we need one more to start in this draft, by the way. I'm not going to put it on screen the entire time or anything like that, but the draft is up, and it's a slow draft, and I dropped the link. The link's right here. We just need one more to start. It's a slow draft. The timer will be slow. Hit the link. Do it live. $3 entry. $20 to first place on this particular one. This is different than the Best Ball Mania. But it's fun because it's all of us together the entire weeks 1 through 17 battling it out. You can, like I said, hit that info button, rename it like Smitty Draft, and that way you can monitor it differently. And it's not one of the big, tournaments or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know, bro. It's a great topic. You can call in on this anytime, especially if something changes. But rookies, Benson feels like he's not even a cuff to me, but he is though. And the reality is he's going in the 90s and 100s. So that's why it sticks out like a sore thumb, bro. Is like Benson's when I first did this board, I put Benson here and Connor as the cuff, and everyone's like, he's not the cuff, and I'm like, yeah, but he is the. And then I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? It's better for everybody to hear how it is and understand what I feel, and what I feel is Benson's a starter, but he really is the cuff. He really still is the cuff, and you can get him, and you can win a league with Benson as a bench running back. Jonathan Brooks is a starter on his team, but I still like Benson a little more on the year, but they're both fantastic. If you go hero RB or zero RB, Benson and or especially and Brooks can win you a league. Vidal's fantastic. That's a guy that I just grab whenever I can at the end of a draft. No question about it.
Appreciate it, Smitty.
All right, Bob. See you later, bro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, Young, for the super chat. Thank you, Vincent, my man Vincent, with the $5. Thank you, Amon, with the $5. Thank you, Adam, with the $2. Thank you all to watching. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for joining me Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Jameer Gibbs. Go watch that video on Gibbs that we dropped at 8 p.m. It was a fantastic show. They all are, but that was a really good one, and we talked about how Gibbs is going to the moon. Thank you for all the gifted memberships that you guys drop constantly. Let me just make sure there isn't somebody that needs to be thanked for that. And then celebratory messages. Okay, I think I cleared everything. ADP, round 4. Smash it. We already drafted. Sorry, let me get rid of this. That's all she wrote. I'll see you all tomorrow. Don't forget Underdog Fantasy. They'll match your first deposit up or at 50%. So you drop 100, they give you 50. You drop 200, they give you 100. You drop 400, they give you 200. You drop 500, they give you 250. All the way up to that 250. So if you drop 700, you're still getting 250. It doesn't increase past that, but it's a fantastic offer. I don't know how long it'll last. Make sure you hit the code. And we need one more to start in this league, and this link will get you signed up anyway using the code. So hit that link right now. Join the draft. It's a $3 draft. It's fun to do. Appreciate you all. Thank you, Sick Nasty, for being in the building tonight. Coble in the building. Sebastian, appreciate you. Hoosiers, appreciate you. Shopkey, thanks for being here. Again, Sick Nasty, thanks for moderating. Thank you to Space Ricky if he's in here. Travis Rowe. Travis, are you still watching? Travis, appreciate you, my guy. I think Travis is in here. I think I saw him in the beginning of the show. And then I don't know if he stayed. GC, appreciate you. Tebow, appreciate you. Easy3, appreciate you. Who else is in here? I mean, a lot of people are in here. We got about 150 total from all platforms in here currently still as we're winding down. Appreciate you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Don't forget to get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. That's my year-round content rankings, bold predictions, trade calculators. I got into the industry in 2002/2003 with the forum and a website, and I got lucky and got a spot on NBC Sports Radio back then to do a bold prediction spotlight, because I did bold predictions on my site. Nobody did bold predictions. I can't 100% say I invented bold prediction concepts in football, but like nobody did it. I'm pretty sure there was nobody doing it. I can almost say that with great confidence. It was Smitty's bold predictions. And people were very, like, I know it sounds crazy. Smitty says he invented bold predictions. I didn't invent bold predictions. I invented the concept of wowing people with a fantasy football bold take and putting my balls on the line. And people didn't do that because they were afraid to be like, oh, you know, like a Benson's going to be a top 5 to 10 running back. That was, if you said something like that back in 2002, 2003, people would be like, that's not logical, because there wasn't a lot of content out there. It was all very, very Excel sheet Eric-like. And there was my site and like 5, 6 other sites. There was really nothing out there. There was Fantasy Football Today. There was, a bunch of the guys. Matthew Berry had talented Mr. Roto. He wasn't even with ESPN. So 2002, 2003, it was us. It was like 5, 6 of us that had websites and content. And the bold predictions is where I started all this. Everything that you see today is a buildup of what began of me saying, you know what, there's no trade calculator out there. So I invented, unless somebody had it on some forum somewhere that wasn't even known. Like, again, I say these things because I don't want to act like I know for certain that anybody else wasn't working on it or putting out a beta version. But I got into the industry because there weren't bold takes or predictions. There weren't truly year-round redraft rankings. There were some small dynasty circles starting to develop then. Very small amount of people were into dynasty. And I created a site that was basically, a majority of my people are dynasty. They're hungry all year round. And there was nobody dropping redraft March rankings. It was like, in July our draft kit will be out, and that's why I always make fun of that in that voice, is because everybody's got a draft kit, get the draft kit. I'm 365 24/7. It's been that way since 2003. For how many? 2002/2003. What is that? What is this? It's 2024, right? Good God, I'm a dinosaur. Minus 2002. 22 years. 22 years I've been creating content. And you can find the trade calculator, Dynasty Redraft, year-round redraft rankings, year-round Dynasty rankings, year-round Superflex Dynasty, year-round Superflex Redraft, year-round rookie rankings, and my super rookie rankings, which, damn it, I coined that thing a long time ago, and now people are copying the shit out of it, where it's the rookies and sophomores on a ranking sheet only, just to give you a sense of who's really important in a dynasty perspective, this 2-year window of youngest players in the league. And now people have all these, rankings, and people copy the hell out of everything. But, and people say it's flattering. It's just annoying, to be quite frank with you. Bold predictions, check it out, trade calculator, all at thefantasyfootballshow.com. Don't forget I'm on Spotify, The Fantasy Football Show. Don't forget I'm on Instagram, The Fantasy Football Show. Don't forget you're watching the YouTube channel now, The Fantasy Football Show. And don't forget, and we need to do more daily shows. I get it. That's on me. I'm going to get there. I promise you. I'm not neglecting the Dynasty channel. I'm just running out of time because of all this news and such. YouTube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. All of these links in the description in case you need to click on them right now. Appreciate you all. Good question here. I know I say I'm leaving. 5 p.m. tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, schedule breaks. I'll probably be going live a few minutes late. I'll schedule it. Never mind. Scratch that. We'll be live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. my time, 5 p.m. Vegas time, 5 p.m. California time, 8 p.m. Eastern, like we always are. And it'll just, I might be sitting there in the chat going, hang tight, and we're going to go live once the schedule's out. And it ironically lines up perfectly with the 8 p.m. show, 5 p.m. West Coast time. So yeah, schedule comes out tomorrow, 8 p.m. Don't be late Eastern, 5 p.m. West Coast time, California time, Vegas time, Arizona time. Don't be late, 5 p.m/8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Schedule talk. We're going to try and digest it live because it drops right when I go live. I'll see you later.
Hi,
My name is B. John Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
And of course, Coble coming in like a monster, dropping 5 gifted memberships right on everybody. Coble with the 5 spot. Coble, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Coble, thank you. Chris got one. Chris from Vegas was gifted a membership. That's my boy Chris. Chris from Vegas getting one. Superfish, appreciate you being here. Legion was given one. MG Toe Legion, why didn't you have a membership already? That was odd. Bare Bones getting a gifted membership. G Money doesn't have one. He was gifted a membership. This is kind of like getting caught with your hand in the cookie jar when you're gifted a membership and you don't have one already. G Money, appreciate you, G Money. G Money's been here from the beginning. I love G Money. G Money, how many years? Maybe you haven't been here from the beginning, but how many years you been here? I think almost from the start of, at least like 3 years, right? Coble, appreciate you. Coble to the moon. Coble dropping wads. All right, see you guys later. Appreciate you.